Hello, welcome to Wandering Womble, or whatever I've called the channel this week. As most of you know, I do the Rust Bucket Rally. This year we're off to Switzerland, 2,500 miles. And what I've done is I've come to Northampton to meet with the guys from the Cynthia Spencer Hospice, who are the people that we are raising money for this year. So I'm going to go upstairs and speak to Michelle, and then I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye. So then, I've come to Cynthia Spencer Hospice, which is the charity that the Rust Bucket Rally are raising money for in 2025. And I am with...
I'm Michelle Morris, and I'm the Community and Events Fundraiser Lead for the charity.
Oh, fantastic. So you know pretty much everything about the fundraising and all the things that... fantastic.
Yeah.
So... I don't know if you saw the videos last year that I did with Elsa's Aim and obviously with the Rust Bucket. I'm trying to do the same again this year and just sort of put a name to the face of the charity that we're raising money for. A lot of people wouldn't know who the charity are if you're further afield from Northamptonshire. It's very well known around Northamptonshire, but less so further afield. So I've got a few questions. They're very informal. And I'll ask them, and you'll probably answer half of the questions in your answers anyway. But if I just start with... Who are Cynthia Spencer?
So Cynthia Spencer Hospice is now in its 49th year. It's our birthday on the 15th of May, so we're literally tomorrow. So which is great news. So we'll be having a big...
So it's 50 tomorrow?
No, it's 49 tomorrow,
right, okay.
And it'll be 50 obviously in a year's time, and we'll be having lots of celebrations. So Cynthia Spencer Hospice was formed and found to support families with palliative care, so people at end of life, people with life-limiting illness, and the services have expanded so much in that time. So we don't just offer an in-bed patient service, we also offer hospice at home. So we offer wellbeing services for people when they're diagnosed, that it helps them to live the best life that they can in the time that they have left. And some people may have a diagnosis where they actually live for up to 10 years. So it's making the best of that time that they're still around, and it might be helping with breathing or just certain things that just helps tweak their lifestyle slightly, but just ensures that they have the best life.
Okay, so how does a patient come to you?
So a patient is referred through. It has to go through the proper, through GP and hospital.
Okay.
So people can't just ring up and say, "Can I come in?" And that's how they do get their referrals to us. It's you think, look, we only have 16 beds.
Okay.
We cover the whole of West Northamptonshire. We have Cransley Hospice, our sister hospice, based in Kettering. Okay. But we are very independent and work.
And where are your beds then?
Yeah, so our actual hospice is based on the Kettering Road in Northampton.
Okay, I didn't even realise that existed, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come and talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. And some people, they just come in, being told that you're going to stay at the hospice doesn't mean to say that that's the end of life. Some people just come for some respite care and some help. And then still go home and still live their lives at home. Some people actually maybe at the end of life, but prefer not to come into the hospice and have our hospice at home service where our nurses go out and doctors and support them in their own homes for their final days, which is so it's whatever probably suits that particular patient really. So it's fantastic, and not only do we support the patients, but all their families too.
Yeah, no, I've heard that as well. Yeah. So one of the Rust Bucket Rally guys this year actually had his father in hospice care, and I believe he died in the care, didn't he? And I know that Julian will be watching this, who is very heavily involved in the Rust Bucket Rally, and I believe that, as far as I'm aware, you did a very good service. I was actually at my allotment this morning, and I was speaking to one of the old chaps that I always talk to, and he said that 30 years ago. His mum died in the hospice care. I mean, it sounds terrible when you say it, but that's what a hospice is, isn't it? Essentially,
essentially, it is
it's for people who are dying.
Exactly, it's not just for complete end of life, but essentially, people will come to the hospice for their final days. Yeah, definitely.
And you provide comfort to the families as well, and support where it's needed. refer people to other services if they need sort of help?
Absolutely, yeah. So they get the full palliative care from the hospice. There's specialist nurses and doctors and consultants that will really support that patient. And yes, absolutely, they'll get all the help they need if they need referrals. And
do you employ the nurses and doctors, or are they volunteers, or?
No, they are employed. There is, just to be clear, is some NHS funding. It doesn't. It's not all funded by the charity. However, the charity still needs to raise £2.4 million a year to ensure that these services and these nice things that we're able to do for our patients can continue. So every family still gets the same level of care as the one before, if you like. So and it's very important. And not only do we ensure these things happen, we are able to offer some, make a wish, if you like. So we've arranged for weddings to happen at the hospice. We've arranged for an Elvis impersonator. We just, some of those dying wishes, we try to fulfil them. Nice. And it just makes a massive difference.
And I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. So you mentioned briefly there about how old the hospice is, 49 years tomorrow. What is the history? Why is it called Cynthia Spencer?
So Cynthia Spencer is the grandmother of Earl Spencer.
Okay, I thought it might be.
So there is a link to the Spencer family.
Okay, so Diana's.
Diana's grandmother.
Oh, so it was Diana's grandmother. Okay.
So so there is a long link with the Spencer family. With us, Earl Spencer is still a patron. Of ours and does support us. We have a big bike ride that we do annually, and every third year we run it from Althorpe House. It starts and finishes at Althorpe. So
which is the family home of Princess Diana.
It is the family home of Princess Diana, and we're very grateful for the support of the family still. And Earl Spencer will come to our service at Christmas, our Tree of Love service, and does a reading for us. So they are still heavily involved and still support us that way. Did
she need a service, or did she just realise that those services didn't exist within the framework of the NHS?
I don't believe she did, but I'm not 100% sure.
Fair enough.
But those services don't, they're not always available, and it's a link. But I think you'll find most regions do at least have a hospice now.
Right. And you said your sister, the hospice is Cransley Hospice.
Yes.
When you say so, what does that mean?
So basically, we kind of share some services and we do some things together, but we are very independent of each other, though. So,
okay. So you're not the same. You're not.
No. And we service a very different regional area, if you like. So if you live in Kettering, you're more likely to have heard of Cransley, and if you live in Northampton, however, there are lots of surrounding villages, and actually sometimes some people do. It does overlap sometimes, but generally we are very independent.
Okay, fantastic. How many people are you helping at any one time? How many people can be on the books, if you like?
I don't. That's a very good question. I don't know, but I will find out when I meet you in 2 weeks' time. I'm actually going to find that out. It's
because I presume that the 18 beds at the hospice are always full. So you've got 18 plus all the hospice at home that you provide.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, but it goes wider than that because you're helping the families as well.
And plus all the families, all those patients that come in for those wellbeing appointments, and sometimes our doctors do go out and call as well. So it could, and we also run a lymphedema service as well. So it's a condition where you get some swelling, normally in the legs, but we have a service where it's drained and looked after properly. Also run at the hospice as well. So,
So people have to go to the hospice.
So. But it, so just shows it's it's a wide range of services, and like I say, it's. People perceive hospice, I think, to be cancer.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought when I started.
It's not essentially. It could be people with Parkinson's, MND. Just to name but a few. Sadly there are far too many of these
diseases and illnesses that take people's lives.
Life-limiting diseases. So and we try to support as many of those people as we can as well.
Very good, very
which
good.
is really good.
Do you have any other partner organisations that you work with?
Well, we have in terms of obviously we work. Because it's NHS based, we work with them very closely, but we have lots of corporates that like to support us, and so that could be people coming in to do volunteering at the hospice, so they might do gardening, painting and decorating occasionally when we need that kind of the role doing. We have a shop here where in the location that we're in today, so we have a lot of people that come in and volunteer there. We also just have corporates that actually sponsor our events, and we have our own things that we do rely on corporate sponsors and supporters, which is great, and it gets our name out, and as we all know, pretty much somebody has been touched by hospice care. If it's not been by ours, it might be somebody, and a family member in another part of the country, but everybody understands what we do and what we're about, if you know what I mean. So we are very lucky with the kind of people that want to support us. So,
fantastic. Well, that actually leads quite nicely onto the next part of the sort of the interview. The
absolutely.
Chat. So, had you heard of the Rust Bucket Rally before Carlos got in touch?
I hadn't personally, but I haven't lived in this area for very long, so that will be why. However, our chief exec had and actually did know Carlos, and it was great that when he got in touch and said, "This is what we would like to do this year," and we, can imagine excitement, over the moon, and you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know some of the drivers and support them with their fundraising, and Carlos and yourself, and we've been very lucky to meet you all and know that you really want to do a good job for us.
So we're sort of aiming. There's 71 cars going.
Yep.
We're aiming to raise £70,000. How much is that going to mean to the hospice?
Oh, amazing! It's absolutely incredible. I mean, you're talking about probably near 100, over 100 days care that will help us provide, and that's the difference. But when I come and see you next week, I'll make sure I get you some more of those details. I think we put some fundraising packs together for the drivers, which did say what so much was spent. I never remember what those things are off the top of my head, which is never great to be put on the spot and try to remember them. But I know that it will make a magnificent
I think the one thing is as well that I kind of get is obviously you try to get your name out there and get the thing, but with something like the Rust Bucket Rally, almost every single team has got its own Instagram page,
of course,
each one of those is now trying to, I've just literally been to the guys who put the stickers on the car, skins and vinyl, and they went on the Hunstanton run with us the other day, and then realised that all the other cars have got sponsors on, and he's literally just walked around a little bit of the area where he's, and they've just raised £1,000 in a few days, or there or thereabouts, and that's the target for each of the teams. And there's 70 teams, 71 teams.
Amazing. I mean,
that's 71 cars plus the backup vehicle that comes with us from the from Find and Recovery, and it's a pity that you're not coming, because it is an absolutely amazing.
We're gutted to not be coming, because every time I come and meet one of you or come to one of your meetings, I get so drawn into it and hear all the great stories of the things that you've done in the past, and I just think, it's a shame.
I mean, we're relative newbies. I mean, we are. This is only our second one. We did the NC 500 last year with them as well, and but it really is. And when you come to the sort of the homecoming and you see the party atmosphere, it's an amazing thing. All of the drivers and their passengers and the crew and whatever in each car are like that. Because it's like a 10-hour driving day. It's a big long day to get back, but everybody who's come to support, it's like, amazing, and all the horns are going, and it's an amazing thing. And from my point of view, and I think I speak for the whole of the Rust Bucket Valley, it's an absolute pleasure to come and support somebody like Cynthia Spencer. I think we all know in Northamptonshire, or pretty much, know that Cynthia Spencer is a thing. And I've seen gardens dedicated to you and things like this, and things like that. And it's an honour to sort of support somebody, a charity that's doing the work that it is doing. We're thrilled. We're thrilled, excited by the whole thing, and that amount of money. Just don't underestimate what that will mean, and what we can do with it. Yeah, good. And we're just so grateful for all of you for taking part and wanting to do things. I know one of the drivers one of the teams there, they've had a bongo night, I think, a bingo with a drag out. So we know that people are really thinking out the box to fundraise. That's right. And so we've been able to support them with buckets and T-shirts and things like that. And it's just great to hear all these stories. And the thing is when we do I think a fair few of us will probably be on the Wellbeing Carnival again this year.
Amazing.
And we drove around the town last year with the sponsors' names on and things and buckets, and the amount of people that actually went, well, if you hadn't been there, the carnival would have been a little bit of a damp squib. But we were all there and squirting and guns and this, that, and the other. And obviously the name of Cynthia Spencer will be everywhere. And, just it keeps it in people's minds, doesn't it?
It does. And I know that people say that you'll drive around the town for, for pretty much all year.
I only have that one car.
Oh,
that's my only car. So I use it for everything. I go shopping in it, I do my work out of it, and fabulous. So it's everywhere, So I mean, I love it. I mean, I think it's great. I've ruined my car, but it's for a good cause.
It's brilliant. It is really good. It is really good.
Right then, what other fundraising projects have you got in the pipes?
Wow, just on Saturday night, just gone, we had a Twilight Walk on very, very first.
I did see that, yeah.
So it was
at Delapree Abbey.
It was at started and finished at Delapree Abbey, and it's the first time we've done it. A lot of hospices around the country do this kind of event. We've never done it. We decided we were going to do it, and we had 400 people take part, and we raised today over £35,000.
Wow.
So we're just again blown away. We're it's something that was a dream really, and it was just an amazing event. So
who organises it all?
I did.
You have to organise it all. So you're the one tasked with.
So obviously I can't do it all on the day, and we have a great team here, the fundraising team here, and so everybody that plays their part with the marketing team. We have people that do the finance and do the admin, and someone looks after all the volunteers, that kind of thing. And so it's really incredible that that it actually came to fruition, and it just looked amazing. It just looked incredible.
Good.
Seeing everyone warming up and then them all coming back, and by then it was dark. They started in daylight, and it was getting dark as the 5K finishes. It really was twilight.
So that's when it was a 5K walk.
Yeah, 5K. But then the people that did 10K walk, it was dark. So people that had flashing lights on and glow sticks, it really did stand out.
And the thing is that interestingly, at the same time, another walk was happening in Wellingborough, and you still managed to get, managed to get all those people involved, which is very good. Well done.
Was it the Wendell Walk?
Yes,
it was.
Which is a different thing, but so have you got any other?
Yes, we have. So whilst you're all off at the Rust Bucket Rally, we will be having our colour run. Okay. So that's on the 8th of June, Sunday the 8th of June, and we have basically people run around Overston Park, and they basically get covered in paint.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
Covered in paint, they get volunteers throw paint on them, basically.
So whilst we're driving around Europe, what you're saying is that other people can go to Overston Park,
absolutely,
and get covered in paint.
They can.
Okay. So what I'll do before we'll get the details of how to get in touch and things like that. So
we also have a big bike ride.
Okay.
So we have Cycle for Cynthia.
Okay.
Now in its 22nd year.
Wow.
And we have a 5, 11, 25, 50, and 70 mile ride options.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that used to be our biggest fundraiser. We unfortunately last year we got bad luck with the weather, and we had to cancel on the morning because it was that bad. It flooded roads.
Right. Okay.
Torrential rain, thunder, lightning. It just wasn't safe to run it, and it's a shame. So, a bit slower on the entries this year, but we definitely are back with a vengeance.
Good.
When we want to move forward from what happened last year, because it really was disappointing for us to have to cancel an event. And we encourage people all year to fundraise for us. So we'll encourage people to take part in marathons, half marathons, any kind of fun run, basically. That's not organised by us.
I did see on the socials that during the London Marathon, you had a fair few people running.
We did. We had 7 people run the London Marathon for us, and at the same time we had 6 people running at the Manchester Marathon for us.
Okay.
Together, the 2 runs will have bought us over probably around £37,000 just for that one day of what people had done for us, which was incredible. And again, some people that take part have their own stories of why they want to support us, and it's pretty amazing really what people will do for us after. We also, other people can go off and do other cycle rides. We have people climbing mountains, we have people swimming, we
doing their own things.
We actually have an event with the Rotary Club of Northampton this year, and they're organising a wild swimming event for us. So again, that's something if anyone's interested in swimming, please go and have a look at our website. The information's all there. It's another challenge. We've also got we encourage people to do the boxing, the ultra white collar boxing for us. We also have the Northampton Half Marathon, the amazing Northampton Run. that takes part in September, but we have places in that, so people come and run that for us. So we're really busy with people, but also then people have quizzes, they have music nights. I'm trying to think of what other people do for us, because it's raffles, quizzes, bake sales, you name it, everybody does it. And we touched, before we started filming, we talked about the Harley Run, where Northampton v Twin organise a ride out on 200 Harley Davidsons riding from Sixfields into Northampton Town Centre, into the Market Square. And, we have...
that sounds amazing.
Oh, it sounds incredible. It is amazing to watch.
I saw a rally recently doing the similar sort of thing further north. I don't know who they were raising money for, but we we were sitting at the services at Leicester Forest East, and they all turned up. And I genuinely thought there was a plane crashing on them. The amount of noise it made. So
it's incredible, and that raised 2,700, I think. So
every little helps.
It does. And these things, absolutely. And all these things. And talking of Tesco's, we also go to supermarkets and do collections, and and we have a great group of volunteers that will come and give their time and help us do those things. So if you didn't think you could raise money, we are always looking for volunteers, whether that's helping at our events, doing collections for us, or we working in our shop. There's always something for someone to do.
And that's the thing that I'm trying to get across to people with my fundraising, is every little helps. I've got my Just Giving page set up, which will be below the video and things. And every little bit that you give to the Just Giving page is coming straight direct to these people, and the good work that they're doing. And like I say, 2.4 million a year just to keep afloat. Just to keep afloat. So every single penny that you can spare helps, and none of it goes to the drivers of the Russ Bucket Rally. Every single penny goes directly to the Just Giving page, which is Cynthia Spencer's page. So they're the ones getting the money. Well, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
At cynthiaspencer.org.uk.
Okay. And do you have socials as well?
We have socials, so we're on Facebook, Cynthia Spencer Hospice Charity, on LinkedIn and Instagram. We're on all of them. So
fantastic. I'll find them and I'll link them all down in the video.
Absolutely, do find us, do follow us. So we've always got lots of things going on, and and there's lots and lots of ways to get involved. Like I said, it doesn't have to be giving money; it can be time, just even sharing the word. Could you? Do you have a shop? Could you put a collection box on the counter for us? Do you have a notice board? Can we put our posters up there? All those things make a massive difference to how we spread the word, and
even something as simple as liking and commenting on a post can help.
Sharing,
exactly.
All of that makes
exactly.
It does,
because it moves it around, and however the internet works. And that's how these things
exactly. It really does make a massive difference. So thank you so much for
thank you very much.
Come and see us. We really appreciate it. And,
thank you very much.
We can't wait to hear all about it.
No, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, there you go. That's it. That's my chat with Michelle from Cynthia Spencer Hospice. Don't really know what to say now. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.